Today on the CTV News at 5. Is that to stay or to go? How this pickup truck ended up inside the Taber Tim Hortons. Plus, Crow's Nest Pass business owners are speaking up after Thunder in the Valley is silenced. And which local athletes are being honored with Lethbridge Sport Council Achievement Awards?
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. The term drive-through became quite literal in Taber late Wednesday night when a pickup crashed through the wall of a Tim Hortons. No one was hurt, but police are looking for the driver of a stolen oil field truck, who they believe rammed the pickup into the building. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
This Tim Hortons drive-through looks more like a drive-in after a truck crashed through the wall. Police say just before midnight on Wednesday, an oil field truck rammed a parked pickup into the side of the building. 2 employees and the owner of the pickup were inside the Tims but weren't hurt. Police say the oil field truck was stolen from a local company Wednesday night. Officers are now trying to track down the person who was driving.
Our investigation is ongoing. We are currently collecting video surveillance evidence and evidence from witnesses.
Officers did arrest one person on Tim Hortons' property who they believe was intoxicated. Police say he was causing mischief and interfering with the investigation. Crews didn't immediately remove the truck because officials were concerned about the structural integrity of the building. A structural team is now on site investigating the damage.
The other truck was towed by a tow company this morning and was taken to a compound for forensic examination by our police service.
Crews were on scene to clean up diesel gas that leaked into the sewer system from a tank on the oil field truck. The gas station across the street from Tim's had a constant stream of visitors. Investigators reviewed outdoor surveillance video that caught a glimpse of the crash. Customers poured in to get their coffee.
Way more, because everybody comes in, oh no, Timmy's, well, I guess we'll have your coffee, I guess we'll have your coffee.
But loyal Tim's customers are disappointed.
We always come here several times a day, maybe 3 times.
This is our coffee spot. Now where are we gonna go?
As every Tim Hortons in Canada, they're always full, plugged full. So it will be missed for a while.
There are lots of places that we can go, but Tim Hortons definitely is, for us, a local hotspot.
Tim Hortons will be closed until a structural engineer determines whether the building is safe. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Taber.
And Taber police are asking anyone who has information about the crash to contact their office. Taber-based oil field company Jaycar Energy Services says they can't comment on the stolen vehicle because the matter is under investigation. A decision to cancel a popular summer fireworks festival isn't sitting well with some Crow's Nest Pass residents and business owners. The municipality's town council has decided to silence Thunder in the Valley until the organizers can establish a better traffic and emergency plan and also get a handle on costs. But some local residents have already started a petition to have the event reinstated, and others are showing their support on Facebook. Terry Vogt reports.
They're going to turn this town into absolutely nothing.
It didn't take long for some local residents to let their councillors know they're not happy with the decision to cancel Thunder in the Valley, a popular fireworks event that attracts tens of thousands of spectators to the Crow's Nest Pass every summer.
You know, different things are shutting down, and I'm born and raised here, and it's really sad to see all this, and now they're trying to take Thunder away.
Kristen Shera says her online petition to reinstate the festival has already signed up over 700 supporters. Kathy Holmes has started a Facebook site called Save Thunder in the Valley.
It's just an great event for everybody to get together and just have a lot of fun.
Thunder in the Valley has become the biggest attraction during the municipality's local celebration known as Rum Runner Days. Some say it has outgrown the pass, creating problems with traffic and raising concerns over safety and security.
For me, it's one of my biggest weekends.
But it's also good for business. Restaurant owner John Warlow says he can understand the concerns, but calls the decision to cancel a shocker that will cost him about $10,000 in lost revenue.
It would have a huge impact on the businesses. It would have an impact on the community's morale. There's a lot of things it would have an impact on. But to understand why they're doing it.
My business does probably enough in those 2 days to keep me going for a few months. It does more then than I do in a whole month sometimes in the January, February, March.
While the economic benefits are clear to some business owners, they're harder to gauge for the community as a whole. Some say they can appreciate the tough decision council had to make.
I mean, I think they're trying to make the best decision for everybody, for the whole community.
Crowsnest Pass Mayor Bruce DeCoux has declined to do an interview. Some local residents say the town needs to speak out and instead of cancelling the event, start looking at ways to make it more profitable and safer. Terry Vogt, CTV News in the Crowsnest Pass.
The municipality of the Crowsnest Pass has issued a news release saying the decision to cancel Thunder in the Valley came after extensive deliberation with respect to public safety and finances. The suspension will remain in effect until such a time that an appropriate emergency operational plan, traffic plan, and other requirements are accomplished. The warmer weather has also meant some drier conditions, and now the County of Lethbridge and MD of Willow Creek have both implemented fire bans once again. The only fires allowed in either are those contained to cooking or heating appliances that are fueled by fluids or by gases. And you may actually want to try to head outside and spend a lot of time outside with those wonderful weather days here that we've got coming.
Absolutely. We've got just phenomenal weather ahead as far as temperatures go. If you want to get outdoor, if you have plans for this weekend to be outside, maybe hiking in the coulees, this is a great weekend to be doing that. We'll tell you all about the temperatures, why they're so warm, and why the BC coast is getting so much wind. We'll talk about it in a couple of minutes. Thanks, Dory. Well, Lethbridge police are investigating after a man handed out candy to children waiting at a school bus stop in West Lethbridge this morning. Officers say it happened just before 8 o'clock at a stop along the 700 block of Columbia Boulevard. A man walked by the children and then tossed them 3 boxes of candy. 2 of them were handed over to the bus driver and the 3rd was thrown in the garbage. The man is described as having darker skin and average build. He's about 5'8" to 6 feet tall. He was wearing a black hoodie with the hood cinched up around his face. He had blue pants on and black runners. Witnesses say the man was walking with a shuffling gait. Police are asking parents to remind their children to never take anything from a stranger, and they're also recommending that children always travel in groups. Anyone with information is urged to contact Lethbridge Police. A shocking story is unfolding in Hanna, Alberta. 2 people are dead and a 3rd is in custody after an incident early this morning. RCMP were called to a home in Hanna. When they got there, officers say that they were met by a young man who said he had killed 2 people. That led investigators to a second home where they found the bodies of a man and a woman. The 24-year-old was taken into custody without incident. The identities of the victims aren't being released yet, but police say this was not a random act. A Cranbrook man has been convicted on several counts of possession for the purpose of trafficking. 40-year-old Doug Mahone was arrested in October of 2009 when police found a large store of drugs and cash in his home. An RCMP officer testified that the way the drugs were packaged and the grouping of the cash indicated trafficking. Mahone and 4 other witnesses told the court that all of the items seized were found while the family was going through his deceased brother's personal effects. And they say the family had decided to burn them, but they were found by the RCMP before they got a chance. In the end, the judge rejected those testimonies.
Somewhat surprised that the judge could not find a doubt or didn't find a doubt in all of the witnesses that were called. These seem to be some pretty, at least from my perspective, some pretty honest people who came forward, his mother and sister, and people who wouldn't, at least from what I say, wouldn't likely want to commit perjury for anybody.
Defense lawyer Balfour Durr says it's been more than 2 years since the arrest and the passage of time can't hurt people's memories, and he says he will discuss the possibility of an appeal with his client. Lethbridge East MLA Bridget Pasteur is one of 21 MLAs being paid for being on a committee that hasn't met in years. According to the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, the Standing Committee on Privileges and Elections, Standing Orders and Printing hasn't met since 2009. Despite that, though, members are still being paid $1,000 a month. The committee is the largest in the legislature and includes representatives from the PCs, all 4 opposition parties, and independent Lloyd Snellgrove. Lethbridge East MLA Bridget Pasteur isn't the only local MLA on the committee. She's joined by Little Bow MLA Barry McFarland and Tabor Cardston Warner MLA Royce Jacobs. MLAs are defending the committee. They say they receive a maximum of $4,000 a month for committee work, meaning they may sit on some for free. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation estimates that the cost of the committee is $261,000 a year. Well, the federal government has stepped in to prevent a threatened work stoppage at Air Canada next week. Air Canada had threatened to lock its pilots out on Monday after they rejected the airline's latest contract offer. The airline had also faced a strike deadline of Monday, set by its ground crew and mechanics. But this afternoon, Federal Labour Minister Lisa Raitt announced she is sending the dispute to the Canadian Industrial Relations Board. Raitt says the government is frustrated that Air Canada and the unions can't seem to reach acceptable agreements. Producers from the popular TV show Dragon's Den are in Lethbridge today.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Dan Kayer. I'm Stephen Bohr.
They're looking for a new crop of budding entrepreneurs. There was a big turnout for the show's Canadian audition tour. The Dragon Den gives aspiring tycoons the chance to pitch their ideas to a panel of successful business icons with the hope of getting them to invest in their business venture. Locals are hoping to impress the producers.
We've seen some fantastic ideas so far. We've seen everything from some hunting devices to some boat devices. We've had some student pictures, so quite a variety so far. So we're really excited to go back and meet up with our team back in Toronto to see the types of things that they've come up with too.
I guess there's always a little nerves with something like this, for sure. We're confident about what we bring to the table and what we've been able to do in a short time. So, a little bit of nerves and mixed with some confidence, I guess, yeah.
And those who impress the producers today will get their chance to face the Dragon Den panel later this year in Toronto. The federal government is investing $3 million into the cattle industry. The money is going towards improving the beef info exchange system, which allows the seamless transfer of animal and carcasses from producer to processor. Federal Ag Minister Jerry Ritt says that will lead to better management decisions, greater production efficiencies, reduced costs, and improved overall competitiveness of the Canadian cattle industry. The beef industry brought more than $6 billion into the farm gate in 2010. And speaking of money, here's a look at the day's markets.